Are you part of a software development team struggling with inconsistent code quality or frustrated by bugs slipping into production? Maybe you are tired of wasting time fixing issues that could have been caught way earlier on. Inconsistent code can be a huge pain, leading to delays, endless rework, and even dragging the whole team morale. But what if I told you you could avoid all that? Having spent years in software development, especially in the enterprise space, I've seen firsthand how code quality can make or break a project. I've helped teams refine their process to deliver consistent, bug-free code, and I'm here to share my insights with you. In today's video, I'll walk you through the steps to set up a code review process that improves your code quality and boosts your team's productivity. Plus, stick around till the end. I've got some insider tips on automating the review process, making your code more efficient without cutting corners. Hello, my name is Samuel Neti, and on this channel, we talk about coding tips and tricks, software architecture, and helping you take your software development career to the next level. So, yes, what we are going to cover in this video. We'll look at what code reviews are, why they are essential, how to set them up effectively, and some common mistakes you'd want to avoid. Plus, I'll throw in some bonus tips on automating the process to save time and effort. Let's start with the basics. What exactly is code review? Well, it's a process where another developer reviews your code before it gets merged into the main branch or maybe pushed to production. Think of it as a quality gate, kind of having a second pair of eyes to see what is going on in your code. It's not just about finding bugs. Code reviews help ensure that your code is clean, readable, and maintainable. It's really about making sure that anyone on your team can understand the code months later after pulling it up again to see what was going on. So, why bother with code reviews in the first place? Isn't it enough just writing tests? Well, not quite. Testing can catch bugs, sure, but reviews bring extra benefits. For example, bug detection, knowledge sharing, and consistency. Now, with early bug detection, reviews help to catch issues or logical flaws that tests might have missed. And when it comes to knowledge sharing, senior developers can also pass tips and best practices to junior developers, making the whole team better in the long run. And with consistency, code reviews ensure that everyone on the team is following the same standards, which is key when you are working in a large code base. So, how do you structure a code review to make it effective? There are 3 steps I'd like to follow when it comes to this. Step number 1, automation. Before a human reviewer can even look at the code, run it through automated tools like SonarQube, ESLint, or what have you. These tools would catch simple mistakes like syntax errors, missing comments, which frees up the reviewer to focus more on the critical aspects of the code. Point number 2, manual review by a peer. Once the automated tools have cleared the easy stuff, the human review begins. The reviewer should look at the overall architecture, the readability, and the maintainability of the code. The key question here is, will this code be easy to understand and maintain in the future? Point number 3, check against coding guidelines. Your team should have coding standards that everyone follows. The code review is where you ensure that these guidelines are being met. This keeps your code base consistent and easy to work with. Now, even with the best intentions in mind, code reviews can go wrong. Here are some common mistakes to watch out for. Not having clear guidelines. Without clear coding guidelines, reviews can turn into subjective arguments. Make sure your team has documented the guidelines you're supposed to follow and follow them to the letter. Another mistake I'd have to mention is making reviews too long. Keep your reviews focused, like about 200 to 400 lines of code at a time is ideal. Anything more and it starts getting overwhelming for the reviewer. I mean, that is where also a lot of people have problems with code reviews, saying people don't really look at the code and they just gloss over it and pass it on. But then this comes about because people have to review a very long code basis, and most of the time people have other things to do and they are tired at the time when they get the request to run a code review and they just gloss over them and just push it through. So in order to avoid that, I like to keep the code reviews very short, hereby saying your code short, the code to be reviewed to be short, so that the person to review the code would have an ample amount of time to look at the code before giving his consent or before approving it into the next branch or the next environment. Another typical mistake which always happens during code reviews is personal preferences. Now, don't let the review turn into a debate over personal preferences. Focus on best practices and the team's coding guidelines. Now, last but not the least is skipping reviews for agent work. Even when deadlines are tight, don't skip reviews. It may seem faster now, but you'll pay for it later with bugs. They are going to pop up and they are going to pop up and pop up and pop up again. Bugs never seem to die. I have no idea why, but they find a way of coming up. So we want to minimize the number of bugs in your code. That's why I always advocate for these points and always look out for these mistakes, not to give bugs a chance in your code. Now for that bonus tip I promised. Automate everywhere you can. Tools like SonarQube, ReSharper, and other static code analysis tools can handle up to 80% of repetitive tasks like checking code formatting, spotting potential bugs, and so on. Integrate these tools into your CI/CD pipeline to catch errors early and free up your reviewers' time to focus more on the important things. Code reviews are such a powerful tool when done right. I'd love to hear how you and your team handle them. What's worked for you and what's worked against you? Drop a comment below and let's discuss. Oh, and if you found this video helpful, go ahead and hit that thumbs up. I've got more content like this coming up your way, so make sure you are subscribed with the notifications on so you don't miss out. Ciao.